The American dream, what is it really? Is it all about having the newest cars, a white picket fence, and a big, beautiful house with a dog? Or is it the opportunity to create a better life for yourself and your family? For Lorena Gallo, it was all of the above. Lorena had always dreamed of coming to America. She'd seen it in movies and imagined herself as the characters playing along in a beautiful film. She envisioned herself living the ideal life in America, where anything was possible. That dream seemed within reach when, on her 15th birthday, her parents surprised her with a magical trip to the United States. Lorena Bobbitt, born Lorena Gallo, came from a small Ecuadorian town called Buque. Even today, Buque has a population of just over 6,000 people. It was a quiet and peaceful life, and although they weren't rich, Lorena's parents instilled in her from a young age that with hard work she could accomplish anything. And so for that quinceañera gift, Lorena and her family jetted off to the United States. Lorena was captivated by the country and wanted to live there permanently. Though her family was unsuccessful in their attempt to emigrate, Lorena obtained a student visa in 1987. To earn money, she worked as a nanny and later took a position at a nail salon with her friend Gianna Bizzotti. June 23, 1993, Virginia, USA. Lorena Bobbitt rushed into her car, her hands bloodied and still clutching a knife. But that wasn't all she held. She also had a severed organ, her husband's penis. As she drove, she flung it out the window. After disposing of the organ, Lorena drove to a friend's house before turning herself in to the police. By the end of that night, Lorena would be charged with malicious wounding, while her husband John Bobbitt was charged with marital rape. But how did it all come to this? How did Lorena's American dream turn into a devastating nightmare? In 1988, Lorena Gallo met John Bobbitt, an American Marine, at a military dance in Virginia. Lorena was attracted to the tall and handsome military man, and she found him to be a gentleman. John, on the other hand, was drawn to Lorena's innocence. He later recalled in an interview, "She looks shy and innocent, and I went over there and asked her to dance. She could barely speak English. I gave her my number." Lorena remembered their first meeting fondly, saying, "Blue eyes, a man in a uniform, he was almost like a symbol, a Marine fighting for the country. I believed in this beautiful country. I was swept off my feet. I wanted my American dream." The pair were married on June 18, 1989, when Lorena was 20 and John was 22. They disagreed on why they married. Lorena believed it was love, while John claimed Lorena needed to stay in the United States. Regardless of the reason, 1989 marked the beginning of the twisted marriage of the Bobbitts. Married life was difficult for the couple. Lorena has stated that John became violent just a few weeks after their wedding. He allegedly hit her when she expressed disapproval of his dangerous driving as they returned home from a bar. By 1991, their situation had only worsened. That year, John was discharged from the Marines, leaving Lorena to support them both financially. Amid the financial and marital turmoil, Lorena embezzled over $7,000 from her friend Gianna. Gianna and Lorena had a unique relationship, one that Lorena described as maternal. Lorena wanted a life like Gianna's. According to John and other sources, Lorena saw Gianna as having the American dream. John explained, "She was obsessed with having her American dream, her American dream, her American dream, her American dream. She said it all the time." He continued, "Gianna Bizzotti had a big house, a cabin cruiser, a Mercedes. Lorena wanted those things. She just wanted too much, too fast." Despite the theft, Gianna refused to pursue legal action and even allowed Lorena to slowly repay her through the nail salon they both worked at. Although this chapter was closing, the debt still weighed heavily on the minds of the Bobbitts. After his discharge, John claimed that Lorena wasn't satisfied with living within their means, so they moved to a bigger apartment and acquired 2 new cars. Around this time, Lorena was caught shoplifting from Nordstrom and was sentenced to community service. The couple separated in October 1991 but reunited a year later. In April 1993, they moved into a new apartment in Manassas. On June 21, 1993, Lorena began the process of filing for a protective order. But what arguably drove the Bobbitts apart was Lorena's pregnancy. When Lorena became pregnant, she was nervous but happy. She wanted to be a mother, and her Catholic faith told her that divorce was not an option. According to Lorena, John forced her to get an abortion when she became pregnant. She claimed that at the clinic he taunted her about how the procedure would kill her. On the night of June 22nd, 1993, John went out drinking with a friend who was in town from Buffalo, New York. Both men returned to the apartment in the early morning hours of June 23rd. John claimed he got into bed to sleep, and Lorena made sexual advances. He said they fooled around, but he was too out of it, and there was no sex. According to Lorena, in the early hours of June 23rd, 1993, John came home drunk and raped her in their apartment. After the attack, she spotted a knife in the kitchen. She returned to the bedroom and cut off her sleeping husband's penis. Lorena, still holding the knife and the severed organ, then drove away from their apartment building. She tossed the penis into a field before ending up at her friend Jana's house. She later told the police he always has an orgasm, and he doesn't wait for me to have one. That statement alone almost sealed Lorena's fate. Without a translator, she claimed she couldn't fully explain herself. In November 1993, John went on trial for marital sexual assault. Outside the courtroom, there was an almost circus-like atmosphere. One radio station served up hot dogs and sliced soda. Chocolate penises and t-shirts with the slogan "Manassas a cut above the rest" were available for purchase. At the time, Virginia law required couples to be living separately or for serious physical injuries to occur for a charge of marital rape. John Wayne Bobbitt was found not guilty. In January 1994, Lorena's trial began. She was charged with malicious wounding, which put her at risk of up to 20 years behind bars and possible deportation from the United States. During the televised proceedings, Lorena testified that her husband had raped and hit her throughout their marriage. Her defense team argued that she had been tormented by years of abuse and was driven temporarily insane, leading to an irresistible impulse when she cut off her husband's penis. During Lorena's trial, John testified that he had never committed any acts of violence against his wife. However, other witnesses corroborated that Lorena had appeared with bruises and that John had been seen hitting and shoving his wife. Friends of John's testified under oath that they had heard him express a liking for forced sex. Lorena Bobbitt was found not guilty. The couple divorced in 1995, marking the end of the twisted tale of the Bobbitts. As the couple walked off into the sunset, their lives took drastically different paths. John Bobbitt went on to star in a few adult films, including the infamous Frankenpenis. It was also revealed that John had a secret love child born in 1992, prior to the attack. He has since been married, divorced, charged with theft, battery, and attacking a stripper. Unfortunately, he has lost most or all of his toes on his feet. No, I'm not kidding, he got poisoned when he was in the Marines and deadass lost his toes. As for Lorena, she stayed in the same area of Virginia, where she worked as a cosmetologist and domestic violence activist. She was later arrested for striking her mother but was eventually acquitted. The pair reunited years later on the Oprah Winfrey Show. On the show, John apologized to Lorena for the way he treated her during their marriage. He claimed that he still loved her and continued to send her Valentine's Day cards and flowers.
Hey everyone! Thank you so much for watching today's video. I truly appreciate each and every one of you who took the time to tune in. I'm always looking for fascinating cases to cover, and I'd love to hear your thoughts. If there's a story, case, or topic you want me to dive into, drop it in the comments below or shoot me a message. Your suggestions help shape this channel, and I want to make sure I'm covering the content you want to see. Until next time, take care and stay curious.